Oh, you're ready. Okay. So today's speech, Linda Snyder, CCCL, she will be giving second project, Organize Your Speech for Competent Communicator Manual, Competent Communicator Manual, and topic is, are you ready? Linda Snyder, are you ready?
Fellow Toastmasters. I don't think we have any guests here today. Is this young lady a fellow Toastmaster?
Yes, indeed.
Nice to meet you. This is about preparing for things, and obviously I didn't completely prepare. The website said it was saving my intro. But we know that there are sudden occurrences in our lives, some good and some bad. And when something good and unexpected happens, we're ready to jump into it, and even then it's a little anxious. But there are some bad things that happen to us. And I would like to talk to you about what you can do just to be a little more prepared for those. I got this idea when I heard about the shooting in Florida. And that involved a lot of people in an airport. Somebody got a gun out of his luggage and started shooting. They had to evacuate the airport. People ran for their lives, and it was hours before anybody was able to get back into the airport. And the number that struck me was that there was 26,000 pieces of luggage that needed to be identified and returned to their owners. Now, how many of those people had a second copy of their identification in their pocket? How many of those people were prepared in any way for the potential 8 or more hours that they were outside? And obviously this is a rare occurrence, and I'm not suggesting that we should all be ready for a shooter, but we can do some things to be ready for everyday life and for the potentials that might come up. Now recently, I took a trip to Philadelphia, and coming back we stayed overnight near Harrisburg in the snowstorm. And so we got up the next morning, and the people there were nice enough to shovel us out, and we're backing out of the parking spot, so I'm halfway out into the lot when I get stuck again. And somehow in the process of getting out of the car, I locked the driver's door. Now I'm 5.5 hours in good weather from home, and the door I reach for is locked. I have no idea why, but the other 3 were open, thank God. And I was able to get into my car. I didn't even tell my husband for a week because I didn't want him saying, oh my God. That second set of keys is expensive, but so is your time if you have to figure out how to get home from someplace. So I've learned that when I travel, I should have an extra set of documents with me in a pocket, and you know, us women, we don't get pockets very much, but we have to figure out something to do with that. And ideally, a second set of keys. I also learned from someone that when I'm at the airport, you may have to have a long time before your flight takes off, and all of that food is expensive, but I can travel with an empty water bottle and fill it once I get through security. At least I've got water. Now, those are all special occasions, but what about the everyday occasions? How many of you have your car keys with you today? Okay, that would have not worked out well if all of you did. But I always remember the fire drills at American Greetings and getting outside and thinking, what if this was a real fire? What if the building was burning and I'm stuck here with no keys, and maybe even my cell phone is in there? How long is it going to be before I can get home? And when I'm at home, I actually have a landline that's specifically used to find my cell phone. But imagine if the fire is there. What am I going to run out with? And again, do I want a set of car keys? Do I want a cell phone? And can I just be a more organized person? And perhaps, as a woman, put my purse in the same place every day when I walk in the door. I didn't even know until I got married that cordless phones are supposed to go back on the receiver. I thought cordless phones were meant to be left wherever you last spoke to someone so that when you were looking for it, you could remember your last phone call. Those little pieces of organization can make such a difference in our lives and keep us safe. I want to be able to have water, at least in an emergency situation. I want to be able to get to my car and to get out of a place. The other thing that we have done in our family, and it's probably silly because all of these things are not likely to happen, but we have a rule that in a really big emergency, that our gathering place will be my home, assuming that that's safe. If that's not safe, it will be my daughter's home. And if that's not safe, well, hopefully I've at least got a water bottle with me. But we all see those disasters where there winds up being notes pinned to boards that say, looking for mother, looking for daughter, looking for, and obviously if that particular spot was destroyed, but have a central meeting place where you can say, in an emergency, here's where we'll go. And then lastly, just 2 weeks ago, some of you saw my Facebook post because power went out in Berea, and I kept my house lit with candles that I had received for the last several months. And so my husband got a flashlight for his birthday, a rechargeable flashlight for his birthday. We wound up going to bed at 9 o'clock at night because there was nothing else to do and the house was dark. So had I had better preparation, I don't need a $500 generator, but a flashlight would have helped. There are so many things, and some of them you can just think through. We have a gas stove. One of the things I do have is matches. Our gas stove has an electric pilot, but I can use a match to light it, and then I have some heat, and I can cook, so I can eat in the dark. Lots of different examples of what we can do to make our lives just a little more comfortable in the event of an emergency. Because one of the things we don't want to say in an emergency is, oh my gosh, I made this so much worse for myself. And so when those happy occasions come up, go ahead and step into them. And with a little bit of preparation, you can be ready for those not so happy occasions.